My next guest is coming off a huge win in his UFC debut, getting it done over Josh Quinlan. UFC Fight Night back on April 29th. It's Trey Waters back here on the program. Trey, how are you?
I'm great, man. I'm doing good.
It's been a couple days since the big win. I'm sure you've had some time to kind of reflect and look back because it was a little bit crazy. You getting the debut on short notice and everything. Have you been able to soak this all in and know that you're a UFC fighter with a win under your belt?
Yeah, I would say so. About as much as possible at the moment. Yeah, it's hard trying to just come to terms with everything. It's a dream come true, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and well deserved, man. You looked really good in there. I mean, you didn't look like someone who had any, we hear about UFC jitters. How are you feeling in there in your first UFC fight?
I felt great. I felt great. I was overthinking it a bit leading into the fight, like the UFC jitters. But honestly, I don't think I really experienced it too much. I think I felt right at home.
Yeah, no, you certainly looked that way. Was there anything about Josh, looking back now, that maybe surprised you in the fight that you weren't expecting?
He was tough as hell, that's for sure. He was extremely tough, super durable. That's one thing.
Yeah, and obviously he was undefeated going in. This is something we talked about. It's always nice to give someone that first L, but did you see the betting odds going in? Because I noticed he was a pretty decent favorite.
I didn't really notice that too much.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to say, yeah, you ended up coming out on top. It goes to the judges' scorecards. I think most people felt like you were winning, but you never know, when it goes there. How are you feeling when they were, when you went to the judges' scorecards?
I was pretty confident. I felt like everything went well. It went all according to plan, so I was pretty confident in the decision.
How do you celebrate after that first UFC victory?
Well, I unfortunately had a few injuries, so I couldn't really do too much. I had to get back to the room and really get some rest. So I'll do my little celebrating once I get all healed up.
Okay. What are you dealing with right now? What injury wise?
So I broke my left hand, and I also sprained my left knee.
Okay. But you probably got a good meal after, I would assume, right? Because I know had to cut weight and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Did you get to eat anything? Like you probably, if I had to guess, you probably had to deal with the injuries and then take something to go back to the hotel room, right? Or did you end up going to like
right.
Okay. That's
it
good.
was like a hotel inside the restaurant. So I'm at a restaurant inside the hotel.
I was going to say, yeah, it would be pretty crazy hotel if it was inside a restaurant. That'd be nuts as well. What's been the feedback, man? It's been a couple days removed. I think people were really impressed with your performance. Like I said, you were an underdog going in. What has that been like? And I'm sure the followers and all that on social media has gone up too.
Yeah, I've got a lot of new followers, a lot of new fans. Feedback was good. I mean, I got a lot of impressed people with the performance. But a lot of people are calling me a weight bully. That's one thing I noticed.
Oh God! Don't even get me started on that. I mean, people know that weight cutting's part of the like it's not something that benefits you. You know what I mean? Like you're depleting your body to get down in weight, right? So
right. And another thing is, I mean, I fought 2 weeks. I fought back to back, and I had to make weight. My first fight was a championship fight. I weighed in at 168.8.
Yeah.
Then turn around not even 2 weeks later and made weight again and fought 3 full rounds without a problem. Yeah. So I mean, the weight cut is not hard at all. So I mean, I'm definitely not squeezing into 170. And I fought at 155 my whole amateur career as well.
Yeah. No, exactly. I think those are people that probably bet on Josh, I would assume. I mean, that's the only that's, I bet there were people that probably bet on him and that this is why they're acting like that, calling you a weight bully. I think the weight bullying thing's ridiculous because like cutting weight is part of the fight, that's why fighters make weight. Some don't, right?
Right. Exactly. And I've never missed weight. So as long as you make weight, how could that be a problem? I don't know. I don't understand.
I'm telling you, they bet on the fight. That's probably what happened. What about the UFC? I don't know if your management's spoken to them. They must have been happy. Not only you stepping up on short notice, but you came out, you put on a pretty entertaining fight too.
Well, actually, I personally spoke to Dana directly after.
Oh, cool.
Which was just which was crazy, man. He was impressed. Like he liked me. He liked the fact that I took the fight. I took the opportunity, and he liked what he seen, and that was amazing.
That's awesome. Were you nervous at all?
A little bit. I was actually a little bit, yeah.
But what does that what does that do for your confidence? I mean, your ability. You came in here, you took care of business and got it done. But to hear it right from the boss that you're doing everything right, like that's got to validate a lot of stuff, man. Because like I said, I think we even said this in the interview before. Like it's been a grind to get to the UFC for you, and here you are, you get a win, and now the boss is even impressed.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, man. It's something that I'm so grateful for, and I can't even. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to even I don't even know what to think after that. It was just, it's crazy. It's so beautiful.
That's good. Did you have any other fighters reach out and say, "Hey, good performance," even like ones that maybe you didn't know? Because that happens the odd time. You'll see like a fighter just happen to see your fight, and they're like, "Hey, congratulations!" And you're like, "Whoa, I didn't know they saw the fight."
Right. No, I didn't get too much of that, honestly.
Okay, but you still got a lot of support, I'm sure, from your teammates and everything else, which was great. So
Oh, yeah.
I know. Again, probably still dealing with the injuries and stuff. Do you have sort of a timeline of when you're looking to get that next fight, or you got to wait for sort of everything to heal up?
Well, I believe I do have to get like some minor surgery on my hand. So I'm not sure the time frame of that. But once I get more details on that, then I'll know more. You know.
But knowing you, I'm sure you'd want to fight as soon as possible, right? Or do you like kind of spacing things? I mean, you just had 2 fights back to back. I'm sure, like if you're kind of thinking timeline wise, probably the fall, maybe the winter would probably be best, just to maybe not overdo it. Or what sort of you thinking there?
Right. Hopefully before then, I would like to get in as soon as I can, honestly.
Okay.
Like I want to get right back in there. If I wasn't injured, I would be right back in.
Okay. Any opponents in mind, or you kind of leave that up to your coaches and management?
Yeah, I'm leaving that up to whoever they put in front of me, honestly.
Yeah, it
There's
doesn't
so
matter.
many guys, there's so many different options now.
Yeah. What about the rest of the week? What do you got planned? You doing anything exciting? I'm sure, like you said, healing up a bit, but also sure getting to enjoy some things that maybe you didn't get to enjoy with that sort of mini camp you had going into this one.
Right. A little bit of that. I'm actually trying to plan some things, but it's kind of hard because I'm like limping around as well as can barely use my left hand. So I'm a little handicapped at the moment.
Right. What are you doing though? Are you watching a lot of TV or video games or whatever? Because like if you can't move that much, I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're enjoying yourself other ways, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm watching a lot of Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that.
What are you watching right now? If I logged onto your Netflix, your Hulu, what would it say under continue watching? What are you checking
I'm
out?
I'm actually watching Snowfall right now.
Oh, cool. Oh, we talked about this. I think the last interview. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great show.
yeah.
And you're liking it? It's good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. And
Awesome.
again, you've had like these back-to-back camps and all that. I know times like when you're in camp, like sometimes you neglect other things, but then once you get that time off after the fight, you can kind of get to it. Is there anything like that for you? Whether it's like, I don't know, housework or something? Like, do you have like a list of things you're like, okay, I got to get to this now that I couldn't get to in camp?
So what that thing really is fishing, but since I'm injured, I really can't do that either. So
Oh, damn. Yeah.
yeah, I'm all messed up right now. I'm trying to
Are
find
you
some
big
new.
into like fishing and stuff?
You said, am I into fishing?
Yeah, yeah. So you like go fishing all the time, or
Oh yeah, yeah. I love fishing. That's one of my things for sure.
have you been doing that since you were a kid?
A little bit when I was a kid, but honestly, it's more of a major thing now that I'm older for sure.
A lot of fighters fish. Like I can name like a hand like Gregor Gillespie, Conor McGregor. Like there's ton of fighters that like doing that, and I can see the appeal as well because like you're in a sport that's really tough. Like you got to train all the time. You got to deal with all the people on social media, people calling you a weight bully, all these things. But if you're out on the lake and you're fishing, you don't have to worry about any of that. It's just you and focusing on the task at hand. Is it almost like therapy for you in a way, like to go out and do that?
It is. That was never like the purpose. I honestly just enjoyed it so much,
Mhm.
but it is a little bit of that as well. It really is. And just being in Florida, like it would be a disgrace for me not to fish. There's so many great opportunities here.
That's good. Do you go by yourself or do you go with some friends? How do you like doing it?
I go with my boy Seth a little bit, but honestly, I go by myself a lot.
Yeah. And you got like the whole like kit and everything, or like how do you go about fishing? Like what do you got kind of lined up?
Well, right now I'm just like I'm bank fishing, so I got like my little tackle bag and everything. But I'm looking into getting a boat so I can take it a little more serious.
That's cool. Maybe use some of the money from your winnings and invest into like a boat or something, right?
Right? Yeah, I'm looking into that for sure.
That's awesome. And is there any like I don't know, like are you a guy that like tunes into all the fights as well? Like are you going to be, while you're kind of healing up, are you going to be paying attention to all the fights coming up, especially in your division, maybe thinking about future opponents and all that?
Yeah, I've always paid like close attention to the welterweight division in all of these top promotions, but now I'm gonna definitely take more of a serious look into the welterweight division in the UFC now.
Yeah,
For
you got to
sure.
be excited for Saturday with we got Bilal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns. That's a big one in your weight class, right?
I am. I actually was just now watching the countdown for that right before this interview, so
Yeah,
I'm
it's
excited for
a
that.
good fight, man. I wonder just with the fact that it's short notice. Bilal's coming off Ramadan. You got Gilbert Burns who just fought, Jorge Masvidal a little while ago. Like that to me, that's the most intriguing part. And it's 5 rounds, right? Like which they should do. I think for like I don't know how you feel about this, but like I like the fact that it is 5 rounds because it's there's title implications here, right?
Right. Yeah, I think that definitely makes it more interesting. And if I had I think Gilbert, man, I don't know. Gilbert he's savage, bro. If I had I think Gilbert's gonna get that. Sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be extremely close between both guys. Because Bilal's look good too. He's definitely turned a corner, getting that win over Sean Brady in his last fight. And but you're right though, Gilbert's like there's that little X factor with Gilbert because he's going out there like certain guys, like you saw the Neil Magny fight, you saw the fight. I remember he's one of the few guys to finish Damian Maia. Like he goes out there and he gets it done. And then even Hamzat Chimaev, that was a fight where remember the narrative going into that one, people were like, oh, Chimaev's going to destroy him, and it was a pretty close fight, right?
Yep, that was actually here in Jacksonville, and I was there live. So yeah, that was a crazy one. Gilbert, he's good. I think the difference maker with Gilbert and Bilal will be the stand up. I think Gilbert's he's next level on the feet, so I think that's where he'll get it done against Bilal.
Do you think we'll see a finish? Do you think he'll finish? Because it's 5 rounds, right? So I think the likelihood is more there, right? So
I believe so. I think he finishes Bilal.
There you go. Trey, thanks for doing this, man. Hope you heal up good, and hopefully we'll see you back in the cage here soon. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. And yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Trey the Truth UFC now.